everybody, and welcome back to another Spinato Spin. It's certainly wonderful to be here tonight. Got three quick stories for you. I know everybody's excited. The fall's coming. People are talking about Halloween, all that good stuff. Well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your life. Let's talk about what's going on. And let's see if we can get some undercurrent of what's going on with your life right now. Of course, always trying to give you whatever I can and whatever I know to try to make you become the best person you can be. You can listen, you can not listen, you can turn me off, do whatever you want, but I just want to leave you with something to think about as we go forward. One quick story, okay? A lot of people think that the game follow the leader is a lot of fun, right? You got the person out front, there's follow the leader, right? Everyone's following them. Well, let me ask you this question. What if the game that you're playing, and most of us are playing, maybe 97% of us are playing, is called Follow the Follower? Tell you a quick story. Years ago, there was a big clock in the center of town, and the clock was huge, and it was right in front of a department store, and everybody used to walk around and see the clock and say, wow, what a beautiful clock. And one day, the owner of the store, the department store, was sweeping out in front of his store, and he saw this guy there, and he had recognized his face. He was setting his watch to make sure that he had his time right. He was setting the watch. And the owner goes, hey, I noticed you've been in front of the store a lot. What are you doing? Well, I'm setting my watch to make sure it's right. Because after all, I blow the whistle at 5 o'clock and all the factory workers get out at that time. And the owner paused, and he said, really? Is that true? He goes, that's funny. I set this clock when that whistle blows. So wait a minute, what's going on here? You mean to tell me that the guy is setting the clock to the other guy's clock? Is that what you're doing? Are you setting your clock to somebody else's clock? Let me ask you a question. How do you know it's the right time? See, that's called follow the follower. That's not the game you want to play. You want to play a game where you're the leader. You're the leader of what's going on. You're a leader, right? You're the best person there is because you have goals. You have goals and you want to hit them. And you've decided you're going to hit them no matter what. And people are going to say, wow, that guy really stood for something, or that gal really stood for something. She set a goal, she set up an agenda, and she said we're going to follow it. And we're going to follow it to the end. See, that's what a leader does. But a lot of times we hang out with people that make us not feel like leaders, not feel like the people that we're really supposed to be. Tell you another story. I got one more after this, but let's go with this one. Years ago, there was a farmer, and he had a chicken farm. And he had a nice chicken farm. He had a lot of chickens. And one day, there are all the chickens right there. All right? All the chickens are there. They're all lined up. Real nice chicken farm. One day, a visitor came and said, wow, it's a nice farm you have here. Wow, and look at all those chickens. And he stopped in mid-sentence. And he said, yeah, but one of those chickens isn't a chicken. That's an eagle. The farmer goes, you get out of here. What are you talking about? I got no eagles here. I got chickens. They act like a chicken, they walk around like a chicken, and they hang out with chickens, they stick their face in the ground like a chicken. And he does that right there. That thing you're calling, that's an eagle, that's not an eagle, that's a chicken. And the farmer got very upset. But the visitor said, wait a minute, I know an eagle when I see an eagle. I want to show to you that this is really, really an eagle. So he takes the chicken, he raises him up about 5 feet off the ground, 6 feet off the ground, and he says, go ahead, eagle, fly. And he throws the eagle out onto the dirt, and he doesn't fly. He lands on the ground. And the farmer goes, see what I told you? That ain't no eagle. That's a chicken. And you know what happens? The farmer's visitor is so adamant. He goes, that's an eagle. And now I'm more determined. I'm going to take this eagle, and I'm going to prove to you it can fly. So you know what he did? He put it in a cage, and he took it in his car, and he started driving up the mountain, all the way up onto the mountain, all right, as high as he could go. Because you know what he believed? And this is where you got to start believing. You know what he believed? He believed there on the mountaintop, when there was nobody there to tell him that he couldn't do it. Nobody there to show him that he's hanging out with a bunch of chickens. He took that eagle and he put it up on top of the mountain. And he said, now you eagle, you fly, because you're an eagle. You're not a chicken. You don't belong with chickens. There's no chickens around to hold you down. You're an eagle, and you fly. And he took it and he spread the eagle out, and the eagle flew away. And because once he realized that he was no longer hanging out with a bunch of chickens, acting like a bunch of chickens, being treated like a chicken, he was the eagle he meant to be. And isn't that the truth about all of us? Isn't that all the truth about us? Isn't that what we're all about? We just need somebody to show us what we are really made of. We got to be believing in ourselves and doing something special every step of the way. One more story. All right, check this out now. Years ago, a little boy, two little boys, they're out in the ice, okay? And they're playing on the thin ice, and they don't realize how bad it is. And one of the kids busts through. And he's drowning. And the other little boy is really scared about it, and he doesn't know what to do. But he wants to save his little friend, right? They're about 8, 9 years old, maybe not even more. And he goes, what can I do? He's not going to make it. And the little kid's sliding under the ice, and he's kind of drifting away, and he's trying to reach him, and he keeps moving away. And you know what the little kid does? He looks around, and he sees a tree. He sees the tree in the distance. And he runs up to the tree in the distance, and he breaks off the biggest branch he can. He breaks off the biggest branch he can, and he comes running back with the branch, and he starts smashing and smashing and smashing it into the ice, and he saves his little friend. And all of a sudden he pulls him out of the water, and somebody saw what was going on, and they called the paramedics. Paramedics went back out there, and the paramedics were like, wow, this is amazing. How did this little guy save the other little guy? How did he do that? This branch can hardly break any ice at all. Matter of fact, I don't see how he even broke the branch off the tree. And the paramedics are dumbfounded. And they're sitting around saying, how can that be the story? How can that have happened? And this old man is sitting there in the distance, hearing what the paramedics are saying. He said, you know how they did it? And you know why they did it? And you know how they did it? And the paramedics are saying, no, what, you got the answer? You know how he did it? Yeah, I'll tell you how he did it. Because there was none of yous around telling him he couldn't do it. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the reality of it? Nobody around telling you that branch ain't going to work. You can't break that branch. You can't do that. He did it because he believed he could do it. Just like you. You could believe you could do it. You stop playing follow the follower. Start playing follow the leader, and you be the leader. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us on the Spinato Spin. Take care now.